morning. We thank you for joining us this morning on Issues on AF television platform. This morning, we are looking at very interesting things that happened over the weekend. Over the weekend, Southeast governors and leaders met with federal government delegations. And this morning, we'll be looking at the outcome of that meeting. And also, over the weekend, also, governors of the Southeast and leaders visited Governor Nyesom Wike in Rivers State to discuss other issues also. That's what we'll be looking at this morning and see what exactly are all those outcomes of those discussions. That's our view and our focus this morning. I have with me in my studio my guest and my friend and our colleague, the person of Kelechimo. Kelechimo, you're welcome.
Good morning.
Kelechimo, you're welcome.
So we can now shake hands.
Yeah, sure, we can shake hands now. This is Eminike Rebu, the anchor of this show. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Over the weekend, Southeast governors and leaders, traditional rulers, opinion leaders, leaders of Ohanese, governors, and so many people met in Enugu State. Yes, Enugu State over the weekend with the federal government delegation, which had the presence of Uchoga, the Minister of Mines and Steel, Junior Minister of Mines and Steel. He had the Labour Minister. He had the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. He had also the Minister of Foreign Affairs. All of them were in Enugu, and also the Chief of Staff to the President, Gambari, were also in Enugu to discuss with Southeast leaders on issues as relate the outcome of the NSAS protest that also ravaged some part of Southeast. So they were discussing way forward. What are the issues, how to tackle these issues, how to resolve these issues, and how to move Nigeria forward. That was discussion over the weekend. And on that particular meeting, so many people are not happy with the communique that the Southeast leaders brought out after that meeting. But on scoops that we are gathering, we gathered that Southeast leaders, they were pushing strongly on Igbo presidency in 2023. They were also pushing for balance in appointments, like in the military chiefs and stuff like that. There should be balance in appointments. There should be balance in appointment. They also asked that the federal government should make sure that they clear AK-47 wielding headsmen that are in the forest of the Southeast. Those are some of the issues that came up that was discussed during that meeting, and the message that was sent to the presidency. That is the view. That is a view. That is just a scoop of what transpired. We do not have the full view because the communique did not give us those full information, and that's why most of us are not happy about it. What's your take on this development over the weekend? Of course, you know that over a week ago, the presidency delegation also met Northern leaders, and we know how everyone was shaking because Northern leaders spelled out their position. But here, we don't even know our position. We just got to the scoop. Asekwanka. So what's your take on all these issues?
Good morning. First, we must commend the Igbo leaders for at least admitting that there is a problem, that there is need for an inclusiveness in the part of the federal government, and having seen the need that the Southeast needs to be represented at all levels of government. So we must commend the Igbo leaders for that meeting. I have not really read that communique, so I'm trying to be careful not to say what did not happen. But from the feelers I have gotten so far, people, including yourself, are not happy with the issue that wasn't raised, because we felt that they should have raised at least the crisis happening in Rivers State. It should have been raised, and other issues, and having what they can see, if it means the government dialoguing with Nnamdi Kanu and all that, because it's as if Nnamdi Kanu is having an upper hand towards kind of he has full house, and he has the tendencies of inciting people and making people do what they wouldn't want to do ordinarily. So for me, the meeting was important. But then they need to come out openly and tell us what was really discussed in the meeting, because for them not to have put everything in the communique, that means there is something lacking, because I even saw on the social media the Abia chief press secretary who was saying that if he wasn't in that meeting, that he will also be angry, just like if each and every one of us are angry. But because he was in the meeting, so many issues were raised, so he was just trying to defend the actions. But then critics will always come in and said, when the northern leaders did the same meeting, they spelled out the beans. They put everything up there. There was nothing to hide. Are we trying to be more Catholic than the Pope? Because it's as if that the Igbo leaders are at the mercy of the federal government, and that is not supposed to be so. So I keep saying that I wouldn't want to say that the Igbo leaders don't know what they are doing, or they are not brave. I wouldn't want to use that. But I just want to tell them to please come out plain and tell the people what they want to hear.
Yes, the Igbo leaders should come out plain and tell the people what they want to hear, not necessarily what the people want to hear. They should come out and say the truth as it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because sometimes telling the people what they want to hear is like massaging their back. You have to say the fact, say it how it is, and then whoever that goes his ox is not left for him.
Yeah.
No, we gathered that during that meeting that 2023 presidency, Igbo presidency, was really talked about. And we had that some prominent Igbo traditional rulers, some political holders feel that if the Igbo, they told, I even heard either the traditional ruler of Onitsha, Obi either make a statement, or he said it will be injustice if the Igbos do not get president in 2023, and that's just one of the ways to show that we want peace in this nation, by that particular step, that every party, including the APC and the president, should look at how to make sure that Igbos get the presidency of 2023. Do you think that is one very strong need that Igbos should be really concerned about now?
Eminike, you agree with me that earlier this year, this is one of the discussions that came up. We talked about this extensively. I have always been of the view that the Igbo, the Southeast should produce the president of this country. Come on, it's only fair that because of the climate we are in, and because of the way our politics is, we need to get involved, and we need to make the Igbo, which the Igbo people who were really who were really at the height of the civil war, because making an Igbo man the president is only going to heal a lot of wounds. It will only bring back that sense of belonging. It will only make people feel concerned, and the Igbo people feel concerned that indeed Nigeria is changing for our favor. Okay, so it's only fair and right for 2023, since everybody is talking about 2023 as the turn of the Southeast. It will only be fair, it will only be right for the Southeast to be given the opportunity to produce the president of this country. Come on, we've had the Southwest, we've had the North, we've even had the South. Let's give the Igbo man a chance to prove that he can actually understand this politics and be a good president.
Let's give the Igbo man a chance to prove that he also understands this politics, and also give him a chance to contribute his own view and effort in developing this nation to indeed make it what they term one Nigeria, which is still very doubtful in so many Igbos' hearts. And okay, let's look at this from this angle. Do you think the activities of the IPOB and the agitation for Biafra will calm down a little, or calm down totally, or stop totally if an Igbo man becomes president?
I have oftentimes said, we need to ask ourselves the question, what did we not do right that made these agitations come in place? For example, look at the hierarchy of the Nigerian, what do you call them, the interior, when you talk of defense, military and all that. You can't find an Igbo man represented there. An injustice to one should be injustice to all. The South is the Igbo nation. They are feeling that you people are not regarding them. The government is not regarding them. So the only way to make them feel that they are still part of this country is to give them those relevant appointments. that will make them show that indeed this is one Nigeria. When you keep being so sentimental, when you keep exhibiting that favoritism and nepotism in everything you do and continuously excluding a particular ethnic group, it only goes to show one thing, that you are not valuing them, that they are not part of the system. Are you getting? So, if we have an Igbo president, or somebody from the Igbo extraction, if you have somebody from Southeast who becomes the president, I'm sure it will go a long way in trying to calm the nerves of those of them who are agitating for either Biafra, Masob, or IPOB.
Okay, yes, Kelechimo just said that the Igbo presidency could go a long way in pacifying, in calming down, in making those people or agitators calm down a little bit if Igbos are given opportunity to serve this country at the highest level in 2023. Yeah. So we are here together this morning. Remember that this is Issues. Issues is where we discuss everything and anything in this country and outside this country. So this morning we are looking at the Southeast leaders meeting with the federal government entourage or delegation in Enugu over the weekend, which held on Saturday, where Southeast leaders, governors, traditional rulers, spiritual heads, just name them, had a meeting with the delegation of the federal government led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Igbo man too from Enugu State, Geoffrey Onyema. And then we are also aware that our own brother, Dr. Uchoga, was also there, Dr. Chris Ngige was also there as part of federal government delegation, Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information and Culture, was also there during that meeting. That's one picture of the meeting that we are seeing here on our screen. Yes, they had that meeting over the weekend. And again, they also demanded for balance in appointments. That it seems as though this present government has been so lopsided that all the military leaders, you don't have presence of any Igbos there, that demanded also for a balance in the appointment at the federal level. What's your take on that?
Emeke, that is true. That is just the truth. In fact, the next president of this country has a lot of work to do. The next president of this country should go a long way in unifying the country. Emenike, there is no sentiments about this. The country is divided. This country as it is today, under this leadership, is divided.
You mean?
That's the blunt truth. That's the blunt truth. The injustice in this country is so much as at today. It heightened. We are not saying that it wasn't there before, but the level of which it has grown past these few years is something else. And if you look at the body language of the presidency, it does appear they don't even want to make a change. So if you can take a whole Southeast to come together and said, this is our problem, on a normal day, should they present that as an issue? We have what they call federal character principle, don't we? Where it majorly has to do with taking appointments from every region. And when you look at the military apparatus, which is the core thing that unifies us, and you don't find a single person from the Southeast, what are you trying to achieve? That means you still have the mindset of war in your mind. That's what it means.
Or they do not trust the Southeast?
Talking of trust, how can you trust someone when you've not given the person the opportunity to earn your trust?
Okay, yes, we are still on this program, Issues. We are looking at the Southeast engagement with the federal government delegation on Saturday. We are discussing some of the scoop, some of the outcomes that came out of that meeting. We do not have a complete communique which states completely what was discussed. We just have scoops of here and there what was discussed during that particular meeting, and which most of us are not still happy about. We are still expecting a full communique from the Southeast leaders headed by Governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Omai, We are still expecting that scoop, that full this thing to come up. So let's pick another issue that also came up during that meeting too. They asked for the federal government to intensify effort to flush out AK-47 wielding headsmen that are in the forest of Southeast. To me, that seems funny. What exactly is the governors doing?
You see,
are we going to fold our hands and come and kill us before we now take action? I don't understand that position.
You see, that is why I wouldn't blame some people that will tell you that we don't have leaders.
It's appalling.
You see, that is, I will mention names now. You see, if we had, no matter how you people hate George, hate him, like him, he cannot be in such a meeting and a governor and things like this will come up. He will be quiet. Are you getting me?
What would they have done? That's different.
What we
have seen him do before?
We all were here when we saw what happened between him and Obasanjo in the past. We are not trying to compare here, but I'm just trying to say that the Southeast governors, sometimes, I begin to wonder whether they understand that they are governors. Are you getting my point? Sometimes.
Because we must put in cognizance that governors are also handicapped in respect to security.
But then,
governors do not have the right to even command a commissioner of police to take action. Are you getting me now? Every security apparatus is linked, almost every person is linked, except the vigilante, is linked to the presidency. So he only has the power to command his people. And if probably the state has a vigilante group to take action. So there's a limited nature, there's a limited capacity of the government to do. But then, in my own view, I think that Igbos were first known for their communal lifestyle, for the communal effort in protecting both infrastructures in their community, for the communal effort in developing infrastructure in their community, for communal effort in protection and even during the war period. So I do not see a reason why we are going to have maybe headsmen in a forest, in a community, in a local government, and people now are not going to stand up in that community or local government and step in those forests and flush those people out. I don't understand it.
You see, that is why I said we lack leaders. We lack leaders. This is exactly where we lack leaders. If you try to tell me a handicap, I come with this ideology that this statement like we don't have command over commission police and police and all those people. You need to write to IG and IG will give the instruction. When this thing came out in Southwest, the Southwest governors took a decision, started even implementing it. Are you getting my? What has happened? What have happened to our? What's his name again? Something. Is it Obunigwe that has to do with our security?
Do you know something? I even come to understand this. You see, we can even have a media warfare. For example, if every community is mandated to scan its forest to make sure we don't have kidnappers in their forest,
they will do it.
But they will do it. And by the time it goes on news that every community from this day to this day, Mama don't heal you.
I'm telling you.
Check your forest. Clear it, don't clear it, supposed to be there.
They will do it.
Even the kidnappers will hear you say, something is coming.
Exactly.
Something is coming. They will know that even the forest is no longer safe for them to stay.
You see, this is just pure.
I don't understand what's happening.
Pure incompetence. Okay, because it's quite annoying. It's quite really annoying. Until I read that communique, until I read it, I wouldn't want to talk about this.
Because these are forests owned by the people. I know the argument people will come with is that how will you send people that do not have arms to go to a forest to encounter people that have arms? That is, I don't think that is a good position, but that's a completely good position. We cannot fold our hands and wait for criminals to come to our communities, to come into our living halls and pick us like chickens, one after the other.
Do you know
we can have communal effort in seeing how to protect this community.
It does appear that the Southeast leaders do not have that, should I call it braggadocio, to go and
That's the issue.
Go and meet the president and say, the president, talk to your people. Because when you talk about Fulani headsmen, the president himself is a Fulani man.
At the moment now, my local government, the school local government, is being rampaged by people who people say, people that have been kidnapped, have confessed that these people are headsmen. They are headsmen. So recently there was a meeting that said, why can't we? I can go there myself. I can mobilize our people. Each community, mobilize your youth, come to the local government area, we charge everybody up, we give us a morale, we go to the bush. My brother, there is no how, even if you have a machine gun and you hear people's footsteps coming, you run away. You will take off. You know that something's happening. No matter how it is, you will move out.
You run
and by the time you know that those forests are not comfortable for you any longer, you move further.
You know,
I don't understand.
You know, it's not every time we be diplomatic on this.
I'm telling you, my brother.
There are sometimes you just have to use force.
People can call Wike any kind of name, but there are some actions he has taken to me.
I was coming there. I was saying, if we had somebody, you know, when I was talking about Ojikalo, are you getting me? If we had a kind of character that we see in Wike, in any of the Southeast, the madness, because the Southeast is behaving as if they are at the mercy.
Have you heard of any headsmen kidnapping in River State?
You don't dare it. You don't. Only Wike's voice will pursue you. Only his voice.
Let's move on. Other issues that I hear. Also on yesterday, Sunday, we saw pictures of the governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, followed by the governor of Abia State, Governor Kizie Bazo. We saw the president Ohaneze Ndigbo, Nneamodo, and so many other people heading to River State to have a meeting with Wike. I think it's related to the incident in Oyibo. And people were contesting that was going to meet Wike even relevant? Was not supposed to come and meet them? So all those issues were coming up. What's your take on that altogether?
Well, there is an adage that says that when Muhammad refused to go to the mountain, the mountain goes to the Muhammad.
Is that so?
What happened, ideally, it was supposed to be Wike, the governor of River State, that's supposed to come. But we are talking about life. Are you getting me? This is not a time to look at status or pride or whatever you think you are. This is a time for action. I believe that the South
is not even late after all the incidents that happened in rivers and everywhere is calmed down in Oyibo, and now people are going to meet Wike.
We are just saying that these Southeast leaders, it's difficult for them to come out in clear terms that there is problem in their house. They are waiting for federal government to tell them, oh yeah, Fulani has. We'll wait for that day. Now, is it the same people that you're expecting to go and attack Wike? Don't be surprised, oh. They will get to Wike. Wike will say, hey, is that why people came? I have told you people, you know how he talks. Are you getting it? I have told you people, I'm not the one who sent the military there. Are you getting it?
Wike have said it. I saw clips where he said that he doesn't have issue with the Igbos. He doesn't have any issue. That it's just that he cannot allow IPOB to use Oyibo as their springboard and this, that. So for me, my own view is that he has a point.
He has to protect his state.
He has a point. And also, Igbos also have a point. The point I'm trying to make here is that in as much as you do not want IPOB to use Oyibo as their springboard, it's also important that we make sure that in the process of trying to weed out IPOB members or trying to stop IPOB members, you do not at that point also inflict pain and injury on innocent citizens.
You see,
which is one of the biggest problems that happened in Oyibo. Allegations of massive care. And again, there's something that's very, very important. That A, B, C, D are IPOB members. It's not a reason why they should be killed. It's not a reason why they should be killed. Are you getting my point? There could be other constitutional penalty for them, but none of those penalty
should be.
None of those penalties, as at this moment, as far as I'm concerned, has enshrined death penalty for being a member of IPOB. That's number one. And number two again is this. Inasmuch, every life is important. A policeman's life is important. A military man's life is important. Every single life is important. But if a life is taken by an individual, instant killing of that individual is not also proper in law. There are procedures in law. There are rule of laws. There is how these things take place. But what we are seeing, or what we are feeling, or what rumors that we have heard, is that because some military officers were killed, which is extremely regrettable. Let me say that again. It is extremely, extremely regrettable and condemnable that some group of military went to that state, and went to that community, went to that particular area, Oyibo, and begin to see how to destroy anybody that is called IPOB, which is obviously against the law. How do we handle such a thing?
When you talk of IPOB, you talk about Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
I have heard Nnamdi Kanu talk. Will it be wrong for the president to negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu?
No. What are you negotiating? The point,
you know why I'm saying this? You know what this is just my opinion. We are all just trying to find solutions to this.
Yes.
Nnamdi Kanu has a way of inciting people. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Now, I've heard him talk. Now, he has some serious followership. I wouldn't be surprised with what is happening at Oyibo is between Governor Wike, and the statement made by Nnamdi Kanu. You know, Governor Wike said he's putting a 50 million naira bounty on the head of somebody. Is it the head of IPOB in Oyibo? And Nnamdi Kanu in turn replied that he will put 100 million naira bounty on the head of the governor. Who does that? Are you getting it? Now, this is the governor of a state. Are you getting me? Now, the governor will do everything means to stop that, to protect himself and also the people. Are you getting it? Now, at the process, a military or security people died at the process. Now, you know how the military people behave. They come in and...
Which is not proper. See, one thing that we as Nigerians must always stand up for is to call a spade a spade. We must condemn what is condemnable and applaud what should be applauded.
You remember this thing happened in Udi?
Yes, that was why some Northerners told Obasanjo that he has no right to talk about the Lekki massacre because of his antecedent of Udi massacre. So those are all conversations back and forth. But the truth remains that there is no reason to kill somebody because the person killed somebody. It is the law, it is the court of law that will go through the process and then hand over a judgment of death penalty to any individual. Not because you kill somebody, we'll kill you now. It doesn't work anywhere. No. That's anarchy. That's anarchy.
Do you know that this country is gradually heading to a country without laws?
Look at what this man said now, Buba Galadima. He said the country, that Buhari is pushing the country, aging the country towards revolution. We just hope that we don't get to that point and these things are fixed. Yes, we want to thank you so much. This is our morning show, AF Television Issues Program. Here we discuss every issue and any issue inside Nigeria and outside Nigeria. And this morning we looked at the meeting between the federal government delegation led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Godfrey Onyema, with the Southeast leaders led by Dave Umahi, the chairman of Southeast Governors Forum. They had a meeting in Enugu, and after that meeting on the next day, Sunday, Dave Umahi and other leaders of Southeast, including Governor of Abia State, visited Mwike in Rivers State to discuss other issues which is related to the incident that happened in Oyibo, and these are all we're discussing this morning. We want to thank you so much for joining this show this morning. We appreciate you. Yes, Keneshimu, what's your final take on this discussion?
Hey, dear Nigerians, we've seen ourselves in the middle of a crossfire. Try as much as you can to remain safe. Guide yourself. And to the Igbo leaders, well, you know that this is a delicate issue and everybody is interested in this. Be like the leaders of the old.
Be like the leaders of the old. That's also my final take this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to follow all our social media handle, especially our Twitter handle, afnewsng on Twitter, afnewsng on Instagram, AF Television on YouTube, and then AF News on Facebook, and other fact newspaper also on Facebook. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day, rest of the day. Thank you and God bless.
Sometimes you may wonder where I get my breaking news from. I will tell you. 160 years ago, the first newspaper hit the streets of Nigeria in Abeokuta, Ogun State. It was published by the Christian missionary Henry Townsend, 1859. It was called Ere Iroyin Fun Awon Eyare Egba, meaning the newspaper of Egba people. Let's keep the history. The news media in Nigeria has become a mumbo jumbo, a shepherd to the strongest black nation in Africa, where a boy with an Android phone and 100 naira megabyte becomes a reporter overnight, making the profession of journalism a childish job. But I have a good news. With so much insight on investigative journalism to bring justice, fairness, equity to the crying masses, in 2014, the fourth estate realm offers opportunity to a team of passionate, sound Nigerian news media experts and professional journalists to set up a platform called afnews.ng. In 2018, the platform was commissioned by the President of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Mr. Christopher Izuguzo, to become a news media house in Nigeria and reporters all over Nigeria. afnews.ng is on a mission to disseminate information in a professional manner that will make it impactful, exciting, with a high level of objectivity to the sustainable growth of Nigerian media industry. I present to you one of the most outstanding online news reporter and award-winning online newspaper of the year 2019. Are you looking for information and news happening in Nigeria? Then visit afnews.ng today. Another interesting part about AF News is that they have a community and a forum where you can post your content and news and make cool cash daily. To make it more interesting and entertaining, AF News established an impressive TV house with high definition video production called AF Television, where live news broadcast is streamed on different online platforms, and you can also record your TV programs on AF Television. afnews.ng, a reliable option for Nigerian news. Sometimes you may wonder where I get my breaking news from. I will tell you. 160 years ago, the first newspaper hit the streets of Nigeria in Abeokuta, Ogun State. It was published by the Christian missionary Henry Townsend, 1859. It was called Ere Iroyin Fun Awon Eyare Egba, meaning the newspaper of Egba people. Let's keep the history. The news media in Nigeria has become a mumbo jumbo, a shepherd to the strongest black nation in Africa, where a boy with an Android phone and 100 naira megabyte becomes a reporter overnight, making the profession of journalism a childish job. But I have a good news. With so much insight on investigative journalism to bring justice, fairness, equity to the crying masses, in 2014, the fourth estate realm offers opportunity to a team of passionate, sound Nigerian news media experts and professional journalists to set up a platform called afnews.ng. In 2018, the platform was commissioned by the President of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Mr. Christopher Izuguzo, to become a news media house in Nigeria and reporters all over Nigeria. afnews.ng is on a mission to disseminate information in a professional manner that will make it impactful, exciting, with a high level of objectivity to the sustainable growth of Nigerian media industry. I present to you one of the most outstanding online news reporter and award-winning online newspaper of the year 2019. Are you looking for information and news happening in Nigeria? Then visit afnews.ng today. Another interesting part about AF News is that they have a community and a forum where you can post your content and news and make cool cash daily. To make it more interesting and entertaining, AF News established an impressive TV house with high definition video production called AF Television, where live news broadcast is streamed on different online platforms, and you can also record your TV programs on AF Television. afnews.ng, a reliable option for Nigerian news. Sometimes you may wonder where I get my breaking news from. I will tell you. 160 years ago, the first newspaper hit the streets of Nigeria in Abeokuta, Ogun